destroyed child whose parents were just never around growing up. And it was just such a cool experience. And I literally had to get on a plane, and I flew to Syracuse, New York, where we filmed the movie. And, you know, long story short, it was a really interesting time in my life. And around that time, actually, while I was on set for that film, I wrote my first song. So looking back, it was a really, really important moment. Yeah, we'll get into that, Annie. That's true. I should take some questions now. It's true. It's touchy stuff. But it was crazy because I wrote my first song there, and I started practicing my guitar, and I really started to invest in this more, like, in the music side of me while I was there. Because when you're on set, a lot of times you have a lot of downtime, and, you know, you're stuck in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. And Myers, that's a great question. I will answer that. I will absolutely answer that before the call is over. But, you know, it was just a really really cool moment, getting to work on this film. And it was cool professionally, it was cool artistically, it was really cool personally. And I felt like there was a lot of growth that occurred while I was making it. So in that regard, the movie was a really important moment in my life. And the fact that it is coming out at the same moment as my single comes out, Unfinished Conversations, I think that's what makes it like this kind of crazy moment where I had started writing music on set, and then when the movie comes out, I have a song coming out, my second song. And I was in the studio late last night. It's like, yeah, okay, that answers that question. I was in the studio really late last night. Might be why I seem a little tired. We were working on one of the songs for the new album. And it's gonna be pretty cool, I gotta say. So let me take some questions. I think that's a good place to start. Okay, Myra, is it hard to make yourself cry during a scene? I think Myra might be referring to the very last scene that you see my character in the film. Was it hard to make myself cry in that scene? No, it was not. Earlier that night, we had filmed this it was probably the craziest scene. If you want to see the craziest performance I have given, the most unhinged, kind of like animalistic, raw, watch Paper Spiders. This scene at the end, my character has a relapse and starts drinking again. I remember feeling like I was in hell while we were filming that. I felt terrible. I felt like utter shit the whole freaking night. So, to answer Myra's question, we filmed that scene where I cry at the end of the film. We filmed that after we'd filmed the relapse. I felt drained. I felt empty. I felt sad because I knew that my experience in the movie was coming to an end. And I also knew that, like, it was over, you know? And yeah, Myra, it's intense, right? I'm not spoiling it. You gotta watch the movie. I'm not giving anything away. Come on. But it's like, so it wasn't, you know? Because I feel like as an actor, it's our job to be sensitive to not only the scene, right? But also how we're feeling personally. You know, I know there's a lot of like weird mythology around Tom Cruise, but one of my favorite things Tom Cruise said, and I think Tom Cruise is one of the greatest actors alive. I mean, that dude is just a, you know, that's weird. Anyway, he's amazing. I mean, his performances are just absolutely crazy. And but he said a lot of the time that what important thing he learned is you have to let your own personal life influence your performance. And I always try to incorporate that, how I'm feeling on that day. How does that make its way into the character? So, yeah, the answer is no. It's not particularly difficult. I find crying in scenes is only difficult when it's not called for and you think it is. And then you feel like you're fighting yourself the whole time. Okay, this is cool. Well, that might give a little, okay, I think that one might be, that question, if I answer that question, might be giving a little too much away about the movie. Okay, yeah. VMGG. I think the thing I just said was the hardest scene in Paper Spiders. I think it was the relapse scene. That was really intense. That was really, really intense. I'm just thinking back to it now, and wow, it was a really hard night. Dakota says, I have a question. Is it hard to be an actor with your fans thinking that you're perfect all the time and you feel like you can't be human? Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of pressure when, you're in a public setting to be on your, totally as sharp as you can be. I also love the people I interact with on my platform. Like, the people who have followed me over the years is they're just all so sweet. And I feel pressure, and at the same time, I feel like we've done a lot of these Instagram lives where I feel a certain level of comfort as well. I think perception is I think perception is dangerous if you get too attached to it. My only intention right now is just talking about the movie and about my song. I don't really have an agenda other than that. So hopefully everything that comes out of that is good and right and pure. So to answer that question. Brittany, you can just ask your question, and I won't answer it if it gives too much away about the movie. You can ask your question. I'm happy to look at it right now. Okay, Catherine says, was it freezing in the swimming pool? Yes, very much so. Very, very cold. If I remember correctly, that day it was raining on set. So the scene I posted the other day on my page. So that was, it was pretty interesting actually. So we didn't know if we were actually going to get to film that scene. If I remember correctly, rain had been plaguing us for a couple days. And I think the sky just sort of calmed down for a little bit. There was no rain and we just ran out and did it. Someone asked me, one of my friends was actually like chirping. He was like chirping on the comments, and he was like, why didn't you dive into the pool? Because he thought the way I jumped into the pool was silly. And I remember it was something about splashing. I wanted to do something like a little more in your face, but there was something about, I think the camera, if I'm correct, was on a rail in the shot where I'm swimming and you can see Melanie walking in the foreground. If I'm correct, the camera was on a rail right on the ground. And if I made a splash, I could have gotten water on the camera, which would have been very, very bad for everyone and for a very long time. So that is why, to my friend who was giving me a hard time, that is why I just kind of did a pencil jump into the pool. Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, one more question, and yeah, Multi Phantoms. I'd love to be in a musical. That's actually how I started acting. I did school plays. I went to theater camp. I love musicals. You guys are so sweet. Okay, cool. I'll answer a music question. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I can't tell if those are I's or L's. Le Maire Bear? What was your inspiration for music? How much sleep did I get last night? Not enough. But my inspiration for music was I've been singing since I was a little kid. You know, one of my first jobs was like being a boy soprano in an operetta when I was like 11 or 12. And so I've been taking voice lessons for a while. I bought my first guitar for myself as a present for getting this movie called The Judge, which I did a few years back. And I think I was 19 at the time when I got my first guitar. And it's I didn't really do much with the guitar, to be honest. I learned a couple songs, mostly like a few Cat Stevens songs. I learned one of my favorite songs, Society by Eddie Vedder. And I didn't really take it seriously, but I was working with a voice teacher here in Los Angeles. And he looked at me at the end of a lesson one time, and he was just like, you know, you can't keep singing covers for the rest of your life. You can't sing other people's music. And I was like, whoa, never even thought about that. And I was just like, you think I can write like my own songs? I was like me write songs? I don't even know what that means. And he's just like, yeah, you should go write your own songs. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just started writing my own music. And like I said, Paper Spiders, I wrote my first song in the hotel room that I was staying in while making that movie. Wrote my first song. I recorded that song. I made a demo of that song. And that's how I met Jacob McCaslin, who I make music with now. So it's about 2 years later. And the crazy thing is that the inspiration for music, there was something that wasn't being communicated with acting, you know? It's a great question to follow up and just to continue with this. Was it hard to write? I mean, it's hard when you start doing anything, right? Weirdly enough, the songs I wrote a year ago were easier to write than the songs I'm writing right now. I think it's something to have to do with the bar gets higher. I think the creativity increases. The knowledge of the guitar gets more vast, so there are more options. I also think I take longer recently to write music, just due to the fact that I want to make sure what I'm saying is actually what I want to say. That's really all I care about, is like I'm working on a song right now, and I left the studio late last night. It was around midnight, and I'm just sitting in my car, like out in the valley in Los Angeles. I'm just sitting in my car, just working on this one song. I'm just parked on the side of the road, because this one song has just been like pushing me, and it's just like I'm not saying what I want to say. And, you know, that's what I love about music, where it's like you have to be honest with yourself to communicate something real. It's so easy to write a bad love song. It's so easy to write a song about having a crush on someone, or like, the quote unquote like one who got away. Like that shit's easy. But like writing a song about a feeling, communicating something, like communicating a feeling is just, that's the tricky part. And that's, I think, why songwriting is difficult, you know, like anything in life is, like, let's bring it back to Daniel and Paper Spiders. To play Daniel, the easiest way was to play him like an arrogant asshole. That was the easiest way to play Daniel. He's an arrogant asshole. He just has a crush on Melanie because, like, you know, he wants to have sex with her. Like, that is the baseline, right? That's the way you hate a character, right? It's just uninteresting. It's boring. And it's totally surface. But it's like, how do you play Daniel in a way where I can love him? You know what I mean? It's like, how can I play this character in a way where I believe myself? And that's the same thing I approach with songwriting. Is like, how do I tell a story right now where I believe myself, where I say a lyric and I fucking mean it. You know what I mean? And that's the same way I approach acting. And that's why I think that acting and music done at the highest level, that's why it connects with people. Is because it's just like, because it's something that we identify with. So yeah, that's a long answer to the question about is songwriting hard. It can be. It also doesn't have to be. So there you go. It's like anything in life. Yeah, Erica, I do. I love what I do. I really do. It's an honor to get to be an actor. It's an honor that I found music, and that I've been, I had the whole quarantine to really just devote to nothing but music. I get a lot of questions. Also, oh no, I'm not angry right now, guys. I'm just really, ask any of my friends. I'm just a super passionate dude. Also, I can be a little intense, which I think can be attributed to the Aries thing. I don't know how much, you all know about that, but I'm not angry. I'm just very, very passionate. And that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. Someone said there's a connection between the relationship in Paper Spiders to my song Unfinished Conversations. That's really interesting. Let me think about that for a sec. I need one moment. Let me think. Wow. Yeah, there's a connection. That's nuts. Thank you for that. Wow. Deep stuff. Super deep stuff. Okay, I'll take a few more questions. And then... Oh, I love that question. Did I keep anything from the film? Yeah, I did actually. I have a shirt that Gina, who did wardrobe, that Gina gave to me. It's a really cool... It's the shirt that... It's that button-down shirt that I wore in the movie with the cool patterns on it. That was... I love that shirt. I try to keep something from every project I do. Whether it's like a pair of shoes or... Like when I did like There's Johnny, I kept this really cool watch that I wore, like this, it was like a vintage replica watch. And I wear it every now and then, and I have like bell bottoms, I have stuff like, I have stuff from the shoot. It was, and Paper Spiders is a really great film to work on. It was really, really great. And I'm wondering actually, I'm gonna look at some more questions real quick. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take one call, video chat thing. I'm gonna take one. All right, guys, here we go. Thank you, Purple Trees.
Oh my god.
How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
The
Where?
movie's amazing.
What is it?
I said the movie's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What did you? I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think about it?
It's just no words. It shows a different way of mental health that nobody realises.
Yeah.
I think that's what I liked most about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was really good.
The movie. I should talk more about the making of the people behind the movie, but the movie was directed by a guy named Nolan Champagnere,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually co-written by his wife, Natalie. And the crazy thing is we talk about honesty as artists, right? We talk about telling the truth.
Yeah.
The movie is semi-autobiographical for Natalie. Natalie is essentially Stefania's character in the movie because Natalie's mother, she dealt with a similar mental illness as Dawn, played by Lily Taylor. So the movie itself had, when I say it was a special experience to get to work on it, it was a very special experience, right? And I don't think I was playing Inon. I don't think that I wasn't playing Inon, but like it was to be a part of such a personal story where like the person making the movie, the two people who wrote the movie, that they're communicating something that was very real in their own lives. I think that's why it's connecting to people. But I have to ask, what do you think about Daniel? What did you think about my character Daniel? Oh, I'm sorry, what? Audio's sort of cutting out a little bit. Sorry.
I liked your character very well.
Try again.
I liked your character. He was good.
Okay, it was the volume thing. I couldn't hear you for a sec. Sorry.
Sorry. He's
Yeah.
very good.
Did you think did you what did you think about when he was like flirting with Melanie? Did you think it was gonna work out, or did you think like
I was hoping it was.
you were hoping, right? You know what I love? I love that scene when when I'm driving the car alongside her walking,
Yeah.
asking about her Aunt Delilah. That scene was so fun to film. Because first off, I got to drive that car, right?
Yeah.
That was cool. I mean, I love a convertible as much as the next person. Um, and, but it was like, Stefania was she was not giving me anything in that scene. Like, I was like flirting hardcore, and she was just like, she's not giving me anything. And it just made it like, it was really fun to do. The whole, like, I don't know, it was great. It was a really fun scene.
It was hilarious. It was
Yeah.
funny.
But so like were there any other things about the movie that stood out to you, or were there any like moments that you felt like a very big like profound connection to it?
It was Danger's relapse, to be quite honest. That part. Not for
Yeah.
me personally, just like a general thing, because you don't realise that how certain little things can happen to affect people.
Yeah.
It was a very good movie. I've watched it more than once.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, the relapse that was intense. Um, that was really intense. But it's it's so crazy that like me personally, I'm not a big drinker. Like I'm really not. My friends make fun of me because I'll just be like, I got a bottle of wine today at the store, and they'll just be like, "You're never gonna drink that." I'll be like, "Yeah, I am. Like, I'm gonna drink it tonight." And then I get home and it's just like it's still sitting there, haven't touched it. And so like weirdly enough, a lot of me playing this character was trying to like it was honestly having to convince myself that I could like alcohol
Yeah,
a lot. And it's like the second the movie was over, I was like, I just don't drink. I just don't do it. It's not something I'm really a big fan of.
yeah.
Um, because it's also like they say as an actor. I remember my acting coach used to say this in class, but he said that he's like, if you go to a bar to learn how to be an alcoholic, the best actor is not going to be the one drinking.
Mhm.
The best actor is going to be the one watching.
Yeah,
And it's true. You have to watch and you have to be like, you know, I remember spending hours reading about like, I mean, just getting down to like the alcohol percentage, of like what it would be to actually get to that like intense level of drunk. And, you know, wine doesn't count as a drink. What?
it
What are you
does.
talking about? It's a drink. What are you talking about? What is this? Oh my god. Well, it's Zoe, right?
Yes.
Zoe, I love the messages. I really do. Like I see them all. I see everything people send. I really love it. Um, and it means a lot. And just thank you so much for your time, and also thank you for watching the movie. It's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Speak to you
And
soon.
yeah, of course, stay in touch. And it's night there, right?
It is 22:09 at
Okay.
night.
Well, have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye. Cool. She's so sweet. So sweet. What time is it in my state? Franck, Yeah, it's my buddy Frank. I miss Frank. Oh man, miss Frank. Gotta get back to New York sometime soon. It's 12:35 right now, and yeah, I know. I'm getting bullied about this wine thing right now. I didn't know that that would be like the thing people picked up on in this chat was me saying wine is a drink. I mean, objectively, wine is alcohol. No, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, everyone. On that note, I want to thank you all for hanging out. Um, and you know, it's just it means a lot right now that Paper Spiders is out in the world. It is a really beautiful movie, and you know, in a movie where people are not uh, making movies about human beings, it's just like the idea that there's this beautiful story about just like what it is to be a human, and especially with COVID and everything, it's like, I mean, objectively, there's been an increase in mental illness because of things like quarantine and, you know, social distancing. And um, I feel in my personal life when I'm out and about in stores, um, in the world, I feel a great sense of a growing distrust between people. It can all be boiled down to what I think is just the separation, right? We feel the separation, like this egoic separation from each other. Um, and a movie like Paper Spiders is is a very important movie right now, um, and a lot of people cope with anxiety, fear, depression with substances, right? Drugs, alcohol. My character in the movie Daniel copes with alcohol, and it's a way to handle your pain. It's a way. It's not the way. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you what the way is, but I'm saying that mental illness is something that everyone deals with, right? And we all deal with it in specific ways. Some are healthier than others. And it's a part of our experience as human beings, right? And I think that that's why I I feel so proud to be sharing this film, to be a part of the movie and representing the film and talking about it. Um, it really, really means a lot to me. And and again, the fact that I wrote my first song while on set for that movie, and that I had Unfinished Conversations come out a week ago. Was it a week ago? It was a week ago. I mean, it's a very special coinciding of, of two of my greatest passions in my life. So, on that note, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much.